She wants to go get a chai. That's what we're trying to promote here, chai. She wants a chai tea.
What did you just say? Chai tea? Chai means tea, bro.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Good evening, welcome back to inthekhud. This is 5th June 2023, 6:56 PM, and it's like a regular Monday ending, kind of tiring. Okay, my light is falling that way. Fixed it, now it is falling this way. So a very standard regular sort of Monday, except for the fact that today in the morning for an hour there is a new member who joined my team at the full-time job, so just took her through the entire system that I've built, and surprisingly I did no preparation for that presentation or anything. There's just the standard Illustrator file that I go through every single time, and because it's something that I have put together and it's just so meaningful to me, I don't really need to prepare for it. I just go about telling whatever it is in the most authentic way, and it comes across nicely, which is good. So the entire process of like getting someone familiar with the systems and the people and the work, it's tiring to be honest. So almost an hour or so I was just speaking, and that is pretty much all that happened. And other than that, because I got some free time during the day, I spent working a little more on I've started working back on the 3D character animation project. So if I was to show what it is that I worked on today, if I go to the beginning of the scene, of course the last time we left this project is because of the clothing situation, because I wasn't able to have the other cloth meshes react. There was this weight paint situation happening, but I thought I will just ignore that completely and render this one scene out, just so everyone knows what I'm working on, right? Because up until now all of this is just on inthekhud. Nobody has any idea of what it is that I'm working on this project for so long. So I want to make like one sort of render of the scene and share it, and then if that goes further to the client, we can accordingly say that the other scenes are going to take a lot longer or whatever, however. But yeah, so for the progress on this project, I worked on the viewport. If you see here, I've added these three people from the human gen obviously add-on, and I've added these two people here because the last we left only the main character was in it, and the main character is doing everything. One beautiful thing is all of the things, because we're using Rigify and we're using the exact same bone structure for the armature and everything, just the name of the character in front changes with the human generator add-on. The very beautiful thing is that the things that I worked on in terms of actions for Ahana, the main character, can be easily applied to other characters as well. You just drag it, like choose that from the action menu. That's all that has to be done. So blinks you don't need to make from scratch. If there's a nodding or anything that I've done, you can just easily transfer it over to another mesh, another person in this scene. And I was actually very conscious all the while to make sure that the size of the file doesn't get too big, because it becomes very difficult to navigate in that case. So currently blend of a scene working 386 MB. How did that happen? I have no idea. Okay, so I was like, okay, I'm adding these characters in the scene, it's still not like increasing in size, but apparently they have increased in size. So it is these meshes here which I've added that are causing the problem. So I need to somehow now transfer this to the characters file and then do a linked, because I did linked overrides for all of these except for these 1 2 3 4 5. I think these two I have done through the linked method. These three I've just added directly, and that is making it from like 5 MB to 386 MB. Again, the size of I don't even know if the size of the file is that big an issue. In rendered view, of course, it becomes a big issue because all these textures and everything are being calculated. But which is right, my assumption about why the original files were so slow in navigating around is because of these textures. All these, I've reduced them from 4K to 2K, and I don't know why they're doing this very weird pose. But anyway, I have to do that for these 3 characters because they are like anyway in the background, they're not even the foreground characters. So on the left side you're gonna see the camera view, and I'm just gonna play through. Okay, in the beginning you have the master shot where you see everyone in the office, and then our protagonist is doing her thing where she's like very sleepy and she wants to, let's make this bigger, she wants to go get a chai. That's what we're trying to promote here, chai. She wants a chai tea.
What did you just say? Chai tea, chai means tea, bro.
So she comes in, beautiful walk cycle comes to a halt. Then we have this close-up camera doing a slow pan. She comes in, takes the packet and pours the powder down. Why did I just stop here? Once that happens, why is this lagging like crazy? See, this is my problem. Is camera culling not on? That's also one thing. Like for camera culling, you have to, even though everything is solid view, I don't know why the playback is so slow. From here she apparently puts it down. This is the thing I worked on today in terms of animation, is she putting it on. Man, this is very, I mean, part of me is like, yeah, nice stuff like these where you literally hit a dead wall happen, and they happen, which is a good thing that they happen because then you have something to like figure out, and in the process you're gonna learn. But like if it's not gonna play at all, even with like a very high-end graphic card, then I'm doing something very wrong. The thing that I worked on, why can't even I see what I worked on? Yeah, I worked on the constraint thing. So basically, let me just show what it is. So what we've done is, to the cup we've done a copy constraint. Okay, and what are you seeing right now? Seeing my face? Okay, so we have a child of constraint on the cup, which we influence this to the armature, which is Ahana's armature, and hand IKL, which is this one here. Okay, so we influence that to 1 over here. Okay, we do this little thing and she brings it down to the table. Why it is lagging so much? This is clearly not normal. Okay, yeah, so I have a ton of things to figure out with this project. Like this level of lag is definitely because of the characters in the scene. How can I have a workaround? We'll see, we'll do something about it. But over here, how do you make sure that this stays here? This is one small things I've learned as well. You see there is this button here next to the influence which says disable and keep transform. Set the influence of this constraint to 0 while trying to maintain the object's transform, because when you take the influence slider from 1 to 0, like over here, normally what happens is it will go back to its original position where it started from before the child of constraint was applied. So this button, if you click that, and you also have to make sure that you keyframe, and then you also have to set inverse, then it works. And then once that happens, even then this will not stay here put. For some reason it will jump to some very weird place. I don't quite understand why. So I did the similar kind of thing where I did it for the chair when she gets up from the chair. So I just made like a single word somewhere here on the table. This is a single word, hold cup on table, and then I influenced the child of constraint to this. So while this, the above one is going from 1 to 0, the bottom one goes from 0 to 1, and then you basically adjust the word a little bit so that it sits on the table. So she's put that on the table, that has happened, and now she'll come here and the hand will become like picking up this thing and then pouring it on, while simultaneously even this hand has to go down and put it. There is so much happening. Like yeah, a project like this just tells you how much goes into making a character animation. And for me, it's not just animation, it's like an entire thing that I have to figure out from start to end. Also things like modeling and these characters and stuff. Even though I'm using an add-on, it is still a lot of things to figure, which is exactly what I want to do. Like there's nothing to complain here, it's just perfect. So yeah, that's the little documentation for today. One thing I want to document is I've been waking up at 5 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. Although my alarms are set for 4 a.m. and my aim is to get up at 4 a.m. and do the Amrit Vela part during the Amrit Vela, because my part ends by 6:30 if I wake up at 5. So Amrit Vela is technically ended by that time. So I'm getting up at 5. I'm getting a bit lazy to get up in the morning at the time that I should. And then once I get up and then after the part is done, I lie down for a while, like for 10 minutes. That becomes half an hour. And then I take Snowy down. And then when I come back up, I have zero strength to do anything. So I want to go back to my grind of, just in the morning session before the full-time job flood starts, just to use that time to either pick up on a course, which I don't think I'm going to do right now. I'm not looking forward to another course right now. What I'm really looking forward to is taking all my skills that I have for, like you said, and like you see in the last video that I made, that 3D kind of render. I now know how to take references and recreate them inside Blender. So I'm going to make a lot of product-based animations and make an entire series out of it. That's something that I really, really want to do. So let's see that happens. And it'll be a very good practice even for like the full-time job, because I've made it very clear that 3D, let it come. So a lot of product-based 3D animations or static renders are going to come my way. So it's going to be a very nice practice over there as well. And of course, it will help build up the portfolio and everything. So that is something that I'm really aiming to do now. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the whole situation. Thanks so much for being in the crowd. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.